Good afternoon everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've got a bit of a different thing for you today, and it's a little bit of a project that I'm going to work on alongside you guys. And basically I'm going to try out my first mini cut. So the reason for this is that I've got a photo shoot in 3 weeks for quite an exciting new brand, which I will be able to reveal a bit nearer to the time. And I just quite fancy seeing if I can do a little bit of last minute fat loss. Now, this is not something that I necessarily promote. Like, I definitely believe that if fat loss is required, you should do it over like a much longer period of time, especially because that's how it will be most maintainable. I don't really believe in short-term fat loss for long-term goals, but considering I've got a date in mind, which is obviously, as I said before, 3 weeks away, I'm gonna see what I can do in 3 weeks. So because this is my first time doing anything like this, my boyfriend Elliot is gonna coach me through it to make sure I kind of keep up with the motivation. I've never really been able to stick to any kind of really restrictive eating. I actually did a little video on that the other day. Go and flick through it if you're interested in a little bit of like my past journey with fitness and food. But what will be interesting is that Elliot and I are actually going on holiday next week, and obviously I'm still going to do the cut while we're away. It might be interesting to show you guys exactly how I get on with the cut whilst we're on holiday. So just to outline, my main goal with this is honestly just to look and feel a little bit better than I do at the moment. I'm not planning on suddenly dropping my weight, looking tons leaner or anything really drastic. I just want to make a few small changes and see if I can maintain them for 3 weeks and then see how I look at the end of it. So I thought in episode 1 of this mini series, it would be really good to outline the protocols that I'm going to be following. So Ellie and I have come up with them and written them down in his favourite notebook. So I will start with number 1. So the first thing to note is that I do not count calories or macros or anything like that. I literally just eat intuitively. It works best for me, and I don't like the idea of being restricted with what I'm eating, as I just know it's not the healthiest mindset for me to be in. So what I will be doing is trying to up my protein intake. Now, this is something I really struggle with. Protein is never something that I reach for, especially not animal-based protein. Now, I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I do try and limit my meat intake where possible, and I eat few dairy products. According to the goal that Elliot has set for me, I will be trying to eat 40 grams of protein per meal. That is a lot for me, just to let you know. I don't eat anywhere near that at the moment, and I know I should be eating closer to that than I am. That much protein is definitely not a necessary part of your diet, but for the goals that I have, I definitely think it's crucial that I at least make an effort to up it to near that. Now, I think for me that will consist of doing things like adding egg whites into my scrambled eggs in the morning. I quite often eat eggs for breakfast, and that will just ensure I've got that bit of extra protein. The other thing would be to base my meals around protein that I know that I like. So I'm not a massive chicken eater, but I do like things like tuna and salmon and fish and things like that. So if I can incorporate more of that into my lunch, that will make it much easier for me. The other thing that I'm thinking that I can do is subsidize any lower protein meals with a protein shake. I'm not huge on protein shakes either. As you can tell, this might be a bit difficult for me, but it's definitely a good and really convenient way to add protein into your diet if you are lacking. Number 2. As you all know, a cut is all to do with lowering your body fat, so I need to be eating in a calorie deficit, or I need to be burning more calories than I'm eating, which I will explain in the next point. Like I just said, my protein intake is not something that I'm going to lower. That's actually something I'm going to put higher than it is at the moment. So my calorie deficit will come from either carbohydrates or fat. So what I'm going to do is slightly lower my carbs. I do not track these, but I'm just going to consciously try and eat less of them, and I'm going to do this by having a lower carb dinner. Now, this is again by no means essential, but it's just a meal that I feel like would be easier to lower my carbohydrates in. Carbohydrates are really essential for me before and straight after my workout to replace my glycogen levels, so I feel like I definitely need to keep them in those areas. It's not really essential for me to have them at dinner time, because that is when I need less energy in general, because usually I'm just relaxing, maybe finishing off a little bit of work, but as I will be on holiday for quite a big chunk of this, I'm sure the evening isn't going to be spent doing anything particularly strenuous. So the third one is water. I know a load of people bang on about this, but it is so important to keep your body running properly. The recommended daily intake of water is 2 litres, but I always drink more like 3 litres, and considering I will be away on holiday in the sun and exercising, I'm probably gonna end up drinking more than that. To make this easier, I always carry a really big water bottle with me, as I just find it's much easier to track your water that way and make sure you've really got in enough. The fourth one on my list is really consistent training. This is something I've struggled with recently, especially over the summer. I've been going to the gym like maximum 4 times a week. The last 2 weeks it has been a bit better, but consistency is going to be key when it comes to this goal. My aim is going to be to train 5 to 6 times a week. Now, this will be mainly weights training, but what I'm going to do is ensure that I mix this with some added cardio. Now, I don't do that much cardio at the moment, but what I will be putting in place is 20 to 30 minutes of steady state cardio, otherwise known as LISS, at the beginning of my sessions, and I'm going to try and do this between 3 and 5 times a week. The other thing that I'm going to try and add in are a few more HIIT sessions at the end of my workouts. Now, I'm not one to go to the gym and do a dedicated HIIT session very often, but I do enjoy doing finishes, which I don't know if that's a thing, but Ellie and I call them that anyway, at the end of my sessions, which are like 3 or 4 exercises, and you just repeat them 3 times. Quite a few of them are plyometric based exercises, and they're just really good for burning those extra calories. Number 5 on my list is getting my steps in each day. So I've got a goal of 10k steps, which I think is the recommended goal anyway, but if I can hit more, that's an extra bonus. At the moment, I don't hit anywhere near 10k steps just because where I live, can't get many places just walking, because I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so I'm quite dependent on my car all the time. Keeping my steps that high will just be really good to increase my energy expenditure each day, and is a little extra added bonus. The last of my protocols is going to be making sure that I get enough sleep in. Again, people really underestimate the power of a good night's sleep, especially when it comes to recovery and balancing your hormone levels. I think because I'm going to be on holiday, this will be a little bit easier than normal, but I'm going to really make sure that I'm getting in at least 8 hours sleep a night, if not more if I really need it. So those are the 6 things that I'm going to really try and follow over the next few weeks. Now, one thing I just really want to reiterate before I finish this video is that I'm not going to do anything really drastic. I'm not going to decrease my calories a really significant amount because I want to stay energized and feeling really healthy as I usually do. And I don't want anything that I do to be a massive shock to my body either. I'm going to try and do a good few videos for you over the past few weeks so you can follow along my journey with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.